Former President Barack Obama warning voters that if they stay complacent, the U.S. could turn into Nazi Germany. Hey everybody, I'm Chad Hasty, host of the Chad Hasty Show, which airs weekday mornings, 8:30 to 11 a.m. Central Time on News Talk 95.1 FM and 790 a.m. KFYO. The headline from Politico: Obama, protect democracy or risk taking the path of Nazi Germany. Former President Obama says Americans must be vigilant in their defense of democracy or risk following the path of Nazi Germany in the 1930s. At a speech earlier this week, the former president took a few shots at President Trump, told the Economic Club of Chicago that, quote, things can fall apart quickly if Americans don't, quote, tend to this garden of democracy. During the speech Tuesday, Obama pointed to Hitler's rise to power in Germany as he implored the audience to pay attention and vote. CNN goes a little bit deeper in their article. The former president said on Tuesday in Chicago, quote, now presume there was a ballroom here in Vienna in the late 1920s or 30s that looked and seemed as if filled with the music and art and literature that was emerging, would continue into perpetuity. And then 60 million people died, an entire world plunged into chaos. So you've got to pay attention and vote. During the event, former president mentioned similar themes of responding to a changing political landscape. Quote, FDR is one of my favorite political heroes. In my mind, the second greatest president after Lincoln, but he interned a lot of loyal Japanese Americans during World War II. That was a threat to our institutions. There have been periods in our history where censorship was considered okay. We had the McCarthy era. We had a president who had to resign prior to impeachment because he was undermining the rule of law. At every juncture, we've had to wrestle with big problems. The former president went further. Quote, during my presidency, the press often drove me nuts. There were times where I thought reporters were ill-informed. There were times where they didn't actually get the story right, but I understood that was a principle of the free press that was vital, and that as president, part of my job was to make sure that that was maintained. So, Obama in Chicago, mentioning Nazi Germany, invoking Nazi Germany, into this idea that you have to pay attention, you have to get out and vote, you have to protect the country, and hey, you got to protect the country from people who criticize the press. You've got to protect the country from those who may use their power a little bit too much. All in all, this was not so veiled attempts at throwing punches at President Trump. I'm not saying that former President Obama was likening Donald Trump to Adolf Hitler. I hope he wasn't doing that. But they were veiled shots, and there are some people on the left who like to compare the rise of Donald Trump to the rise of Adolf Hitler. It's stupid to do so, but there are people who do that. In my opinion, President Obama should take a cue from former President George W. Bush. George W. Bush, during the Obama presidency, sat on the sidelines, did not speak out, didn't criticize at that point, the current president, Barack Obama. President Bush saying that it's unfair to the country, it's unfair to the current president for him to criticize the current commander-in-chief. Obama should learn from former President George W. Bush, stay on the sidelines, stop criticizing our current president, and stop saying that that the United States is on a march towards Nazism. It's not going to happen. Donald Trump is not Adolf Hitler. His supporters are not Nazis. For Obama to say that is intellectually dishonest and intellectually lazy as well. Tune in to the Chad Hasty Show weekday mornings, 8:30 to 11 a.m. Central Time, News Talk 95.1 FM and 790 a.m. KFYO. Have a great day.